Hello? Can I interrupt for a moment?
You're not interrupting. On the contrary. Have you heard from your father?
No, unfortunately not. And last night I was attacked.
Attacked? Are you hurt?
No, nothing to worry about. But it must be because of something important. Do you really have no idea what it could be?
No, He's been under a lot of stress in the last few days, but that's happened before. Looking back, there are plenty of ways to interpret it, but especially conspicuous? No, not really.
That's a shame. Yesterday evening you offered me your help. Does the offer still stand?
But of course. My name is Max, by the way.
Nina. But you know that, don't you?
So, ask away.
Yesterday evening, Eddie was mumbling something about people in black robes. I didn't take him very seriously at first, because his description was, let's say, a little strange. But I spoke to a little girl today who saw something similar last night. She even took a photo of the men in black robes. Unfortunately, there is not very much to see, but I'll certainly speak to Eddie about it again. Do you know where I can find him?
No, I have no idea. I haven't seen him all day. He's probably crept away somewhere quiet to think about it all.
You mean he's drinking again?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Unless...
Unless what?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? Come on out with it, tell me.
Well, if those strange men in black noticed that he was watching them...
You mean they came back?
I don't know. At the moment, I have no idea what is actually happening here.
Well, this is something we have in common. I found this piece of paper amongst my father's records. Does it tell you anything?
LA60 AK19AL? That sounds like one of our exhibits. What about it?
No idea. I was hoping that you could tell me that.
Not spontaneously, but I can go and get the item. The note with the description of the diadem is missing, but you just had it in your hand. I don't know any more about it either.
Thanks a lot. Can I take my time to have a look at it?
Of course, but please don't forget to put it back later. Otherwise your father will tear my head off.
If he still can.
Hey, stop thinking like that. We'll find him, I promise.
Yes, hopefully. There must be an important reason why Daddy kept a piece of paper with the description of the diadem at home. But what? And what is that about the true princess? He used to call me that sometimes. Is it a message to me that I should be able to understand somehow? Think, Nina. Think quickly. Does the name Oleg Kambursky say anything to you?
Kambursky? Oleg Kambursky? No, nothing. Should it?
Unfortunately, I don't exactly know that either. In the last few hours, I've heard the name Tunguska several times. Do you know anything about it?
Do you mean that Tunguska catastrophe from 1908?
Yes, could be.
At the beginning of the last century, something exploded there. The destruction must have been enormous, but even today, nobody really knows what happened back then. Your father once took part in an expedition to Tunguska, but you probably know that, don't you?
We never really spoke much about what he used to do. After my mother's death, he never wanted to speak about his work in Russia anymore.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was a long time ago. She was killed in a traffic accident. Shortly after that, we came to Germany. I think my father simply wanted to leave all of that behind him.
And your father never spoke about his work in Russia? Didn't you ever ask him?
No. He asked me never to ask him again, and I kept my word, despite being very interested at times.
Well, I know a little more about it. In 1908, an unidentified object went down over the Siberian taiga. A huge area was completely destroyed by the shockwave and a wall of fire. The shepherds who lived there, the so-called Evenk, were either hurled through the air or burnt. There were hardly any survivors to witness anything. Several expeditions were started to find out the cause of this catastrophe, but despite all their efforts, no clues or any evidence was found that was at all helpful. And in time, several fantastic theories arose, from a meteorite colliding with Earth, to the appearance of an unknown type of energy, to the explosion of a spaceship. And off the top of my head, that is about everything that I can tell you on the subject. But somewhere in the archive, I still have a few articles over the Tunguska phenomenon lying around. Shall I go and get them?
Yes, that would be sweet of you. Oleg spoke about it, and I read one of my father's mails to him. There was also something about it in there. Maybe it will bring me a little further.
Okay, I just have to get a few small things done here, and then I'll have a look around the archive.
Thank you very much. The things out of the archive about Tunguska.
Yes, I'll get going now. But it could take a while until I've sorted through the records.
No problem. I'll wait here. Let's see what we find here. The label is illegible, but judging from the skull and the other symbols, it must be extremely corrosive. Plaster of Paris. The text says to add water and vegetable oil and mix to achieve the desired consistency. If I swipe things from Max's office, he certainly won't keep helping me, but I'd like to get rid of this eye. So the spoke has now broken off, but that eye now can no longer look at me in that evil way. I can only hope that Max doesn't notice. If I turn the valve now, I'll ruin the whole floor. Oops. Maybe I shouldn't have opened the valve that far. A load of water has come out. I'll squeeze a bit of this oily, slimy liquid into the bowl. I'll put the stone into the acid and see how it reacts. The acid is doing its work admirably. The stone is beginning to corrode. I'll have to take it out of the acid at the right moment, otherwise the inclusion will go the same way as the rest of the stone. I hope I know what I'm doing. That diadem has now been robbed of any beauty it once had. Yes, that should hold. Great! It fits! I don't believe for a moment that a yellow glass shard will pass for an amethyst, ruby, or an emerald. Daddy would have to be completely colorblind. I've laid both lenses over each other. They now have a green shimmer. I hope that thing is in the right position. As soon as the putty has dried, I'll only be able to get it off with brute force. I'd better leave that on. Whether I'll get any brighter? Wow, it works! Somebody seems to have marked one of the rooms with invisible ink, and it has just been revealed by the colored light beam. I have no idea where this room 8 is located exactly because there's no map key, although it seems to be one of the rooms that are being renovated.
Wow, not bad. I only go away for a few minutes and you transform the museum into a light show.
Oh, I'm sorry, but
That's okay. But what is all this stuff and what does it mean?
I don't exactly know either. But if this riddle really comes from my father, then he must have had an extremely good reason for the whole effort.
Have you found anything out yet?
I'm still working on it. And you? Is there anything new on the subject of Tunguska?
Not a lot. Here, I found these 2 articles.
The light beam has changed the color of the escape plan on the wall. A room with the number 8 seems to be highlighted. Is that one of the rooms that is currently being renovated?
Yes, and they've been renovating it for ages. The complete substance of this house is unfortunately no longer the best, and the workers are having a lot of problems completing the job.
Was there anything special in that room?
Well, no, not really. All of the exhibits from that room are currently stored in my office. Are you looking for something specific?
If only I knew.
We can go straight to my office. Maybe you'll find something there to help you out. Come on into my office and we'll have a look at the exhibits from room 8. Have a look around. All these things are out of the room that's being renovated.
If I remember correctly from the documentation on the Incas that I have seen recently, these kinds of masks were worn during ritual sacrifices. A pygmy warrior's shield from the year 1687 or 1688 in the region of Asia, or something like that. It looks ancient. Although I saw one like these in some Swedish furniture store only last week, I think this one, however, is ancient. A vase from the Ming Dynasty. I broke one like this when I was a kid. I think that must be some sort of calendar, but how to read it is what I don't know. That thing has obviously just been set in there. It doesn't belong to the relief disc. I got that thing out of the Aztec relief disc in Max's office. I have no idea whether it is a medal or a coin or what, but the horseman looks like a skeleton. That could be an antique. Unfortunately, that's about all I can say about it. The coin seems to complete the set. Oops, that opened up a trap door. It appears to be some kind of secret compartment. What could my father need one for? It contains documents. It has to do with to my father's research expeditions. It's written here that in 1958, he was the leader of a secret expedition into the Tunguska region. Apparently, after the 1958 expedition, someone in the highest position tried to keep the results secret. It has to do with some strange plant growth. Daddy wanted to continue his research, but all further investigations were prohibited. Then apparently he did travel to the region again himself, only in the company of a certain Manuel Perez and a local guide. That was in 1977. If I understand this correctly, a lot went wrong on this expedition. Something awful happened to Perez, and both of them were arrested. My father has not been able to find out what exactly happened to him that night, and Perez disappeared without a trace from that time forward. Daddy writes later that here at the latest, he should have realized that human life is always more important than research. What does he mean? Maybe I should ask Max. He'd be able to help me with all the formulae and explain the scientific expressions. And this is a letter from some society in Ireland. But these are just empty pages? I definitely need help. Maybe Max knows something about it all.
Sorry, I still don't have anything.
But how that is connected with my father's disappearance, I don't yet know. But I have found some of his records in a secret compartment. They describe a secret expedition and some very strange events and...
Hey, slow down. I can't follow you that quickly.
The best thing to do would be to come with me to my father's office. I'll show you the records, and then we should perhaps have a look at his filing cabinet.
Okay, let's go.
I told you that I didn't want to see you here again. Believe me, it really would have been better if you had kept out of it. Now I have no other choice but to... Ah!
Oleg Kambersky?
Looks like I came just in time. Are you okay?
Yes, I think so. What did the detective want from us anyway?
Did he want to shoot us?
Well, he probably doesn't have his weapon trained on you just for the fun of it. We should get away from here before this guy wakes up. I'm sorry that I was so unfriendly when we first met. For some time now, I've had the feeling that I'm being pursued, and my nerves are shot right now. Of course I know your father. To be precise, I have known him for a very long time, and I know him very well. I was with him on one of his expeditions back then. We were in the Tunguska region back then, together with the Cuban Manuel Perez, an Irish biologist whose name I can't recall at the moment, and some assistants. I don't want to get into details regarding the events of the past, but for some reason, someone appears to be very interested right now. I have the feeling that not only your father, but I as well am in danger, and possibly all members of that past expedition still living. Of course, I can't prove it, but if I'm not mistaken, the Russian Secret Service, FSB, could be behind it. They already tried back then to prevent us, and your father in particular, from undertaking further expeditions. You know about your mother?
My mother? Why? What does she have to do with anything?
You know that she died in an accident?
Yes, but...
It is rather questionable whether it really was an accident. You were in the car as well. I was driving behind you when the car suddenly crashed through a bridge railing and plunged into a river. I was barely able to get you out of there. But when I tried to save your mother, 2 of my fingers were torn off. Therefore...
Daddy never told me anything about that.
I'm certain he tried not to burden you with that as well. The 2 of us have already reproached ourselves enough. But enough about the past. Now we have to find your father again. Due to the events of the last few days, I activated a few of my contacts. One of them is Sergei, who is moving in circles which, well, I'd rather not be found anywhere near them. But he knows just about everything that no one is actually supposed to know. According to his information, a research station was built in the Tunguska region decades ago, and now another transport is planned to go there. Supposedly, not all the scientists who are to be transported there are participating voluntarily. This research trip and the disappearance of your dad a few days before its start could very well be linked.
Does that mean my father was kidnapped and is now sitting on a train to Siberia? What do they want from him?
Even if, officially, he hasn't been active in research for years, he is still an expert in his field. I am sure that Sergei could help us.
I have to go to Moscow?
I have an airplane. We could be there in a few hours. I know this is all quite a lot to swallow at once, but if your dad is really on that train, we have no time to lose. As soon as he reaches the Tunguska region, we'll barely be able to get him out again. The area around the station is too heavily guarded.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but maybe it is the only chance. So let's go.
It would be good if someone stayed behind, in case Vladimir does get in touch after all.
But...
Nina, we should go if we want another chance to get there before the train leaves.
I suppose I could have another look at your father's records, but I don't have a good feeling.
Great. Then let's go.
Take good care of yourself, okay?
I'll do my very best. I wish I could.
Yes, me too. Good luck.
Oleg didn't tell me you were such a beauty. If I had known that, my price would have gone down.
Yes, I'm happy to see you too. You can help me in the search for my father?
Sergei can do a lot of things. Some say Sergei can do everything. But Sergei is martyr, so let's just stick with Sergei can do almost everything.
Yes. Modesty honors you.
What can I do for you?
I thought you knew that.
Sure. But Sergei needs all the information again firsthand. And looking at your mouth and your moving lips.
Are you going to help me or just gawk?
How does the saying go? One hand washes the other.
Okay. So, my father has disappeared. I only wanted to meet him in the museum where he worked. And as I arrived...
Yeah. Sergei knows that.
Then what do you want to know?
What did your father do in the last few weeks? What was he working on? Who was he working for?
Quite honestly, I have no idea. I have never really spoken to my father to any extent about his work. He tends to hold hour-long lectures about scientific things, and after a few minutes, I tend to fall half asleep. Then at some time, we agreed to leave the subject of work out of our conversations.
Not good. Really not good.
Yes, I know, but it doesn't matter now anyway. But again, I really don't know what it was, or for who he has been working for recently. Besides his work for the museum, he still held lectures and prepared reports, but I can't be any more exact than that. All I know is that in the last few days, he seemed a bit unconcentrated, as if he was especially concerned with something. But what that was?
That gets us nowhere. A couple of birdies told me in the last few days that another train is leaving for the Tunguska region today. It has to do with some kind of scientific experiments. What kind exactly, I don't know. But it's not important now. In any case, a few old friends have been reactivated.
Old friends? Reactivated?
Scientists and people who know the area who were in the Tunguska region in the past, they were, well, asked to cooperate. Some came voluntarily. Others had to be persuaded.
Oh, I understand.
Good. Be that as it may, your father may be with them.
Is he in danger?
If he doesn't do anything stupid, he won't have any problems normally.
But how are we going to get him out?
We aren't going to get him out at all. But as I've already said, Sergei can do almost everything. An old acquaintance is standing at the side entrance of the train station. He'll take you in and give you a pass and a uniform. As soon as you're on board the train, you should be able to find enough time to look around. The guards on board are usually busy drinking and playing cards during the trip. Oh, and by the way, you're traveling under the name Nina Perkova. Your last name could give you away if your father is actually on board.
So I get in the train, eliminate all the guards, and free my father. Alone? Great plan. Just great.
When you find him, then we'll see how you'll get your father out. Not to worry. Sergei would never leave such a sweet ass hanging.
Okay, that's a relief then. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous about my father. I really am happy that you could help me. Thank you.
That's okay, little one. They don't call Sergei the good soul of Moscow for nothing. And don't forget, even if you get information that you don't know what to do with, Sergei can certainly figure it out.
Okay, I'll see what I can find out.
Nice weather we're having, isn't it?
Yeah. It's much too nice to sit around out here. Comrade Yushin is taking your shift now. Isn't that nice of him?
What? Why? Come with me. Let's chat a bit.
It doesn't seem to be my lucky day today. Was that a coincidence, or did they find out that Sergei bribed one of the guards? In any case, I now have a huge problem. Sergei has gone. My cell phone has no signal here, and I have to get onto the train fast. Nina, it's time for a stroke of genius. I need an idea. Even with wheels, that thing probably wouldn't move. Without wheels, there is not a hope in hell. That rust bucket is in a really... Even with wheels, that thing probably wouldn't move. Without wheels, there is not a hope in hell. Hello. So late and you're still working?
Yeah, real funny, huh? You probably think it's hilarious that a poor guy like me has to work so late, and then has to muck around in other people's shit. Real funny, huh? Ha ha.
Wow, you're in a good mood. I wasn't having a laugh at your cost, honestly.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm a little irritable. Today's actually supposed to be my day off, and yeah, and now I have to work overtime just because this bunch of soldiers doesn't know how to flush the toilet. You hopefully aren't one of them, are you?
No way, don't worry.
Good. When I catch the person who dumped this shit on my lap, he's going to be sick just thinking of the word toilet.
Yeah, look, could we change the subject, please? My graphic imagination is very well developed, and my stomach is remembering what it had for lunch. Having to work on your day off is, of course, really bitter. That would piss me off, too. Excuse me, a slip of the tongue. Did you already have some plans? Cinema, a few bars, or anything?
Yeah, I wanted to go fishing. A couple of beers, rod in hand.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend like that once.
Huh?
Nothing. Tell me more.
Well, just a really relaxing day. But maybe I can do it tomorrow instead. If only they finally picked the right lottery numbers.
That car over there, is that yours?
No, I think that's been there for a few years now. I don't even know if there are any parts still in it.
The lottery. What is so special about that?
They hold a special drawing in which you can really clean up. You know, I've been playing the lottery for 20 years and have never won anything. But today is my lucky day. I could tell when I woke up. All this shit is gonna end today. I'm gonna buy myself a little cabin on a nice river somewhere. Maybe I'll even buy the river too. And then...
Yeah, and then spend the whole day with your rod in the water, I know.
Exactly. The stupid thing is, you have to have every number in exactly the right order. If the first 3 numbers match, you can win something too. But to really clean up, all the numbers must be correct.
That means, in the worst scenario, if you have one wrong number, you can lose completely.
Yup, but I'm gonna win. 856549. I'm gonna have a new life with these numbers.
So the soldiers have screwed up your day off. Did they just turn up all of a sudden?
No, it wasn't that sudden. There've been rumors going around for a few days, but I had no idea there would be this many. I have no idea what they're all doing here.
Hey, you don't mean to tell me that the soldiers are swarming all over this quarter and you have no idea why they're here?
Well, there are always a few soldiers running around here. After all, it's a military train station. But I haven't seen this many in a long time. I've heard they're heading to Novosibirsk.
And what do they want there?
I have no idea. They don't talk to us. Think they're just better than us. Most of them don't have an original idea in their head anyway. They merely follow their orders. Someone told me there are also scientists with them. And a little while ago I saw large cages. I have no idea what they're planning.
Cages?
Yes. Apparently there are some prisoners on the train. Maybe that's why.
Cages for prisoners? Are they keeping my father like a wild animal? I urgently have to get on that train and get him out. I'd better get going then.
Me too.
As long as the worker is looking the other way, I should take the opportunity. Let's see what Russian construction workers have for breakfast. An advertisement for the Gartuzo Corporation. Outrageously expensive, insufficient coverage, lousy service. If those are your requirements for a cell phone in today's world, go to the competition. If not, come to us. Gartuzo Telecommunications offers the ideal contract option for any requirement, tailored to your needs. Switch now. By now, they seem to be everywhere. I've already received dozens of brochures from them at home. A long rubber hose. Demolition of a workplace is never a good idea, especially if the workplace belongs to a huge, strong building worker. These are either the stones of wisdom in duplicate, or just a couple of bricks. Demolition of a workplace is never a good idea, especially if the workplace belongs to a huge, strong building worker. I'll try to support this wreck with these bricks. That thing is completely rusted, and the crank doesn't move. Good idea. I can use the butter for lubrication. Well, let's rummage around in the garbage, shall we? Great! A rusted nut and an unidentifiable iron something. It's the small things in life that bring happiness. Hey! A catapult! We used to shoot at tin cans with these when we were children. Even with wheels, that thing probably wouldn't move. Without wheels, there is not a hope in hell. The guy who took over the job of Sergei's contact man looks extremely well trained. Let's see if some charming words will get me into the station. Hello, you wonderful man.
Oh, hello.
All alone are you out here? Can I enjoy your company for a while?
I don't care.
Uh-oh, that'll be a hard one to crack. Can I borrow your newspaper for a few minutes?
What? No way. The nurse is finally just about to turn the doctor around.
Pardon?
Don't tell me you've never heard of the Siberian Saga.
No, I have to pass on that. What is it?
The soap opera in the Moscow News. A fascinating love story. For the last 3 weeks, they have been publishing a new chapter every other day. And I guess that the nurse...
Yeah, great. That's enough. It sounds really gripping. Are you almost finished with it?
No, not for a while yet. I'm reading it slowly on purpose to prolong the excitement. Of course I have the newspaper at home as well, but there's not much going on here, so I can read without being disturbed. I'm really anxious to see if the head nurse's plot...
No! Stop it! My doctor has forbidden too much drama and excitement. You were guarding the side entrance here. Is there any special reason for it?
Yeah, no one's supposed to go in there.
Talk about stating the obvious. I'm flirting with you, stupid. Oh, and because of that, they have installed a strong, muscular man like you here.
What? You mean me?
Yeah, right. I'm sure they spent a long time thinking about who they could give such an important task to. And they came to the conclusion that only you could fulfill the job. Well-trained and radiating power and strength.
Yes, you're probably right. I've only been with the troops for 3 years, but I've already achieved a lot.
Of course, I, as a mere woman, feel much better when I know that real men like you are defending our land. What is so important about the station that you have been chosen to guard the side entrance?
Actually, I'm not allowed to say. It's top secret. But I guess it has to do with some Secret Service thing. There are masses of conspicuously inconspicuous people running around. You're not from the FSB, are you?
Me? No, of course not.
Phew. I was lucky. I nearly let the cat out of the bag. I don't want to end up like my colleague. They just took him away.
Sure, I understand. Damn, I almost had him in my hands. Your colleague, where did they take him? Is he coming back soon?
I'm afraid not. The 2 guys that took the poor guy are from the FSB, I think.
Oh, why did they take him?
No idea. But it's better not to ask questions. The wrong one at the wrong time, and it could be your last question. As soon as they have you in their grip, it's not easy to get out again. If you get out at all.
Thanks a lot for the information.
My pleasure. See you soon.
If all of these cigarette butts are from today and all from the same watchman, then he should apply to one of those record-breaking shows on TV. According to Sergei's theory, I should be able to get in there without any problems. What now?
Damn! That is the 3rd bulb this month already. What idiot keeps ordering this cheap junk? The story was just about to get interesting.
This newspaper here?
Yeah?
Can I have it?
I guess so. The light bulb just exploded on me. It was really old anyway, and It'll be weeks for sure before anyone replaces it. You have to fill out a form that is signed by the officer on duty and then faxed to the ministry. From there, it goes through 3 committees, and with some luck, I'll see another one before I retire.
Yes, the wonders of bureaucracy are international. What about the newspaper?
Fine, just take it.
If all of these cigarette butts are from today and all from the same watchman, then here are the numbers of the special draw. 356549. One single wrong number. The sewage worker will be kicking himself in the ass all day long. I can't do that to the poor guy. If after such a bad day he also loses $1 million in winnings, he'll run amok. Here are the numbers. I can't do that to the poor. Hello. What new?
None at all.
Hey, hello. It's me again.
Hi.
You smoke quite a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I know it's unhealthy. But I simply can't give it up. I've tried everything. That's why I'm glad I get to sit outside. At least here I can smoke. Want one?
Yes, please. It'll be good for my nerves. Isn't smoking forbidden inside the station?
Absolutely no smoking. They probably have stuff stored in there that could raise half of Moscow to the ground.
Oh, what things?
No idea. And to be honest, I don't really want to know. Sometimes, ignorance is bliss.
Very wise words. Thanks a lot for the info.
My pleasure.
I can't do that to the poor guy. If after such a bad day he also loses $1 million in winnings, he'll run amok. One small manipulation of the lottery results and the big win is perfect. Only short term, but isn't short-term happiness better than none at all? Here, the late issue. You can find out in here whether you can go fishing tomorrow or not.
Yes, I won! I have to go home at once and tell my wife. Oh, what's the point? I'm going straight to my favorite fishing spot and we'll fish all night. And I'll quit first thing in the morning. If you want to marry a rich man, you'll find me down by the river.
I can only hope that he takes his sweet time about resigning. Some of the soldiers have been using that hole in the floor as a rubbish bin. They could at least have let a couple of gold rings drop into it. I assume that this pipe is for wastewater from the station. That bright light could be from a floodlight, according to which I must be under the railway station now. It stinks to high heaven, and the reason for it does not need analysis. The door is open a bit, but it seems to have wedged itself against something. That's a heavy security door. An iron bar will not be enough to get that one open. Done it. It's open. This one's been sprayed red. Is that of any importance? There is no opening for a key or anything like that. Not visible anyway. There is nothing swimming around in there apart from a few objects I'd rather not describe. A valve. One can open and close the pipe with that. Why should I? Until I get an answer to this question, I'm not touching it. Either the latter is in an awful condition, or surprise visitors out of the sewage system are unwanted visitors. No, I can't get up there that way. The iron bars are too long and would probably get wedged in the shaft, so I can't use them as rungs for the ladder. Even with wheels, that... Hello, Yushin. Has anything special happened?
No. Everything's quiet.
You look unbelievably strong. Are you really powerful as you look, or is it more fat than muscle?
Well, I do work out a little. After all, I want to make sure my body is still easy on the eyes in 10 years.
Of course, optically, it is really very impressive. Problem with most bodybuilders is that they can pump huge weights and then not manage to open a jam jar.
Hey, wait. Show me the jam jar first.
Oh, have I insulted somebody's honor? I don't have a jam jar with me, but I do have these iron bars.
Give it to me. That's one of my easiest exercises.
Wow, I'm really impressed. If I stand on the very edge of the rungs, they should hold my weight. So now I'm inside. Now the only question is where my father could be, and how I can look around without being caught by a soldier. I have never seen a woman pee in a urinal trough. And no way am I going to be the first. after my excursion into the sewer, I'd prefer a shower. Washing my hands surely wouldn't be enough. Hello? Are you all right in there?
What? Yeah. You always do that?
What?
You know, peep on strangers in the bathroom.
I'm not peeping.
What then?
You were making some really strange noises. I just wanted to see if everything was all right. It sounded somehow sick.
Are you from the FSB?
Is that how I look?
No idea. I can't see you.
Well, no, I'm not. Why does everyone here ask me if I'm from the FSB?
Well, they're running around all over here, and I don't want any trouble.
Who does? Why? Do you have anything to fear?
I will if the train's supposed to leave, but doesn't. You see, I dropped the key in the toilet.
Unpleasant. I wish you successful fishing.
Very funny. My problem is also your problem.
How come?
Because I'm the train driver, and it's the key to the train.
Oh, don't you have a spare key?
No, that's why I'm afraid to come out of here. I can't tell anyone that the train can't go anywhere because the train driver lost his own key in the toilet.
No, better not.
Please don't give me up.
Regarding the Secret Service people,
What about them?
what are they doing here?
No idea. I didn't ask, and I hope they won't ask me.
That sounds like a very wise strategy. Where exactly is the train going?
You should know that.
Yes, but we got no such exact explanation.
Well, I'm sure I don't know more than you. And if so, there has to be a good reason for it.
Who's on board the train?
No idea. I'm just the train driver. They only tell me what I need to know. And you? Did you sleep during the briefing?
No, it wasn't especially precise. I thought you might know more. I nearly blabbed. I should be more careful. That guy is taking his oath of silence very seriously. Maybe someone else is in more of a mood for a chat. How long have you been sitting here?
About 3 hours.
Isn't that really exhausting?
Yeah, there's a horn you could toot.
Shall we start a choir?
Very funny. Now I just have to make sure I get a handle on my stomach again. What's coming out just isn't normal.
It's true. Sitting on the toilet is like real life. You have to be able to let go. But now is really the time to change the subject. Will you be all right without me?
Sure, I have to.
I'm gradually getting a little nervous. I've been running around here in circles for nearly 3 hours and I still couldn't smoke.
Pull yourself together, Romanova. You know that we are completely understaffed. Most of the soldiers are already on the train. I think you'll manage to survive the next few minutes.
Yeah, I know. But I've already chewed off all my nails. It's starting to get critical.
Romanova, you...
Oh, come on. Just 5 minutes.
Okay, fine. I have to settle a few things, and then I'll take over for you.
Thanks. You're a treasure.
Speaking of treasure, you'll smoke with Yushin at the side entrance. Is that clear? Otherwise, you'll flirt with one of your comrades, and then you'll be gone for ages.
Hey, it's okay. I get along great with Yushin. After all, we both agree that men are better lovers.
Good. I'll be right back, and then you can go on your break.
A small empty plate with a few coins on it.
Are you out of your mind? I work my ass off for you so that I can set aside 5 minutes and relieve you so you can take your break? And this is the thanks I get?
But
Oh, this will have consequences, I swear to you. You know why there's absolutely no smoking here, but this has consequences. There will definitely be consequences.
Hopefully, she won't get into too much trouble.